Hi, this is Michelle, and I'm in my sunroom here at my home. And I've been growing aloe veras for over 30 years. They love the sunrooms. They get lots of light. And I have lots of plants because I get babies, and the babies have to be divided and get bigger. And so in this video, I'd like to show you how to transplant them, how to water them, how to get the gel removed to be able to use them for different medicinal purposes. So thanks for watching. Here is an example of a healthy plant. It's nice and thick. It's a medium-sized plant. It'll be a good one to pinch off and to use maybe for a drink. I would maybe use about that much in a drink. I'm not here to advise you to take it internally. I'm just telling you what I do. So it's important for you to do your own research. The importance of really taking good care of your aloe vera plant is that you want it to have the gel that you need for the medicinal properties, to use them for your skin or your hair or your health. And so it's important that they have fat leaves at the bottom. If you overwater, they will start to get soggy and fall off. If you underwater, they will dry up. Over here you can see I have many plants, and I do sell them at the market. Here's another example of a mother plant, which my mother plants are fairly large. And here's a baby coming up here. This would be a good one to take out and put into a starter pot. The bigger plants sometimes will get, especially if they're in front of the window, they'll need a little bit more moisture. And sometimes if I don't water them enough, then some of these down here will get dry. And here's a good example of a drier leaf that maybe this one might have needed to be watered a little bit better. The bottom leaves will dry out, and they'll get kind of thin like this. So a lot of people tell me they have a plant at home, and if this is what it looks like, then it's not going to do you much good if all your leaves look like this. Where I have so many plants to keep up with it, some of them might get a little thin at the bottom. The next one down is fairly thick, see, so it wasn't too bad. But I have just a few back here. Here's another one that fell off because it dried out. So I'll just discard those. And this one still is in a good position. It's still standing straight up, so I won't need to transplant that one. Here's a bigger mother plant that is a little bit tipsy. It's getting overgrown there a little bit, and I'm going to have to transplant that sometime soon. But I'll show you how to do it with a little bit smaller plant. We'll try to find a smaller, medium-sized plant to work with today. I have lots of medium plants here, so let's pick one that we can use as an example to show you how I remove the leaves. This is a good one right here. So we'll dig this one up, and I'll show you how I remove the leaves. So I'm going to take this plant out of this container here. What I'll do is I'll put it over the basket, and I'll very carefully tip this over. I'll take a hold of it like this and tip it upside down and pull it out kind of sideways like this. And you can see here the root system of this plant is very healthy. It's not overcrowded. It's got a lot of nice roots. And I don't really want to disturb it if at all possible, but if it does get disturbed, it usually will bounce back pretty quickly. But I'm going to turn this upside down so that I can remove the leaves. It's a little bit more difficult when the dirt is holding on like that. I'm going to shake off some of this dirt to make it easier to remove some of these plants. There's a good root system here, and I didn't disturb too much of it. There's a few roots that got lost, but that's a good root system right there. Each leaf is wrapped around the main stem. So I pinch the leaves down here and remove them. You very carefully turn it and remove the stem like that. And then you have this here. And then you keep doing that until you get all of them off that you don't want to have on there. So I'm just going to snap it and go like that. I think I'm just going to take off a few more here. Has a very good root system, so we want to try not to disturb it as much as possible. This one broke here, so I just kind of snapped that part off. I'm just going to leave this on to heal. I might end up taking that one off too. As I turn this right side up, you can see that I'm probably going to want to save this section right here, this section. So I'm probably going to remove this leaf and this leaf. Let's turn it back around again. I'll remove those. And a lot of these leaves are very juicy, and they can be used in drinks or on your skin. That looks pretty good actually. And I don't really need to keep this one that's broken, so I'm going to take that one off and just end up using that up. So now we have this plant right here. See, this looks really nice. And see how the stem is a little bit longer now because I took the leaves off? That stem will start to produce new roots. There's little knobs. Here's a knob right here, and that knob will produce a root. And there's probably going to be some other ones underneath the white part there. Here's a healthy aloe vera, and I removed these leaves, so we're going to plant it a little bit deeper. I laid it down very carefully on the floor so that the leaves don't snap on me. For now, I just have a regular pot. This will work fine. I'm just going to put it in here. The soil that I make for most of the plants that I grow here, whether it's indoors or out, is made with my compost that I have from the animal manures and the weeds and different things. I compost it with the black leaves from the city that my husband gets. And I use that and combine it with peat moss and some perlite and sometimes some sand, especially when I'm doing the aloe vera plants. I need to add a little bit more sand. So here's some soil here that I've got. So now that we have this plant right here already done, with the leaves taken off of there, the ones that were kind of droopy, it looks like a nice plant. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 leaves, the smallest being a new one coming up in the middle. And they're all juicy and thick, healthy, and we have a healthy root system. And I have a pot about this size, just a regular cheap pot. Because the pot has a lot of holes in it that are pretty big, we do want very well drainage. Aloe vera needs a very good drainage. But I use some cheap paper towels. I'll just set a paper towel at the bottom of the pot to catch the dirt so it doesn't fall through the big holes. And then eventually that paper towel will decompose. The roots will hold the soil together. The paper towel won't hold the water. It'll drain through the pot very well. So the roots to the aloe vera plant don't get too wet, and it'll eventually decompose. Okay, so I put a little bit of dirt at the bottom here. And this is a very, very healthy, good long root system here. So it's going to do really well. And you can, oh, look at this. You could even see a little baby one coming out. Look at that. See the little baby one? Look at that. I've never seen that before. Oh, that's wow. Very interesting. My granddaughter Abby is camcording so that I can do this, and it'll be a little bit easier to see. I'm just going to stick this in there and it'll come up on its own. But I just kind of hold the plant where I want it, which I'm going to want it right about here. I'm going to want the roots to be a little bit down, pretty deep. And then I'm just going to start to fill it up with dirt. The dirt has to be crumbly. It can't be real wet and it can't be real dry. It has to be just like a dampness to it, like that. So we'll just fill this up and press it. One thing about aloe vera, you do have to press it really well to make it to stand up pretty good, because they have a tendency to topple over, especially when they get real leggy. So they need a good support around there with the dirt. I don't like to get the dirt in here. I like to kind of make sure that's pretty clean, but sometimes a little bit gets in there. It'll come off once I water. I'm going to fill this pretty high to get this, because the roots, the main roots are all the way at the bottom of the pot right now, so they're going to have to produce bigger roots, more roots at the top. There. Okay, so there we go. There we go, have it. Okay, sometimes you can bend the leaves a little bit over to kind of train them a little bit. That one's a good one there. Thank you. Okay, so these are the leaves that we removed. Some of them are a little bit on the skinny side, or they're bent up and you can't get as much gel from them. But some of them are fairly thick, like this one right here. And that's enough gel to do a nice little drink in the morning with some juice. In another video, I'm going to show you how to remove the gel.